kneeling hip flexor stretch to a lunge. So what you're gonna do here is get into this half kneeling position. Okay, so you might see people stretch or have stretched like this before. If you are gonna do a hip flexor stretch, the way to go is here by squeezing your glute, just maintaining this neutral spine. What I see a lot of people do is they stretch their hip flexors and they're like going as far forward as they can. That really doesn't do you any good. It just really cranks on the front of your hip and actually puts your back, put a lot of compression on your low back. So the better way to do that, so this particular exercise kind of gets both. You get a little bit of a stretch, but we're also going to be working on strength, which long term, working something actively like strengthening it while moving through a range of motion or doing something dynamic is going to give you better results. So you got your left leg down here. I'm tightening this glute. I feel a stretch through the front of my thigh here. So through my hip flexors, my quads here in the front. Once I do this, you can play around. If you want to hold this position for a little bit, you can always kind of lean to the side if you do feel like you need to give your hip flexors a good stretch, or you can twist a little bit, feel that whole left side. But once you feel comfortable in this position, okay, then you're gonna exhale, keeping this neutral spine. Sometimes you can lean a little bit forward, okay? If you need to feel this glute, you're going to tighten that glute and come up, okay? Front foot is planted, really driving my weight kind of straight up here, okay? So I've got that good hip flexor stretch on this side. I'm coming up into a lunge, okay? I'm not arching like this. I'm keeping ribs stacked over my pelvis. Good glute activation as I come up and down. Okay, so we're getting a couple things here. We're getting a good hip flexor stretch through this side. We're working our glutes as we come up. We're working a little bit of balance and core by stabilizing here, not letting our trunk sway side to side. Keep our core balanced here and do both sides. See what you feel. Different side to side. Again, this side, feel a good lengthening, tightening my glute. I'm gonna stretch just real quick first, kind of move through this side. Feel a good stretch there through the front. You can twist once you feel comfortable with that. Then you're going to lift straight up into that lunge. Still feeling a good stretch here. Ribs are stacked. Can lean a little bit forward if you want. If you're having a hard time maintaining your balance, make sure you're keeping that good deep breathing. So exhale as you come up, help engage that deep core to help with that stability if you feel like you're wobbling all over the place, okay? You can always hold on to something too, a wall, a chair, something that you have at home if your balance is a little off, which can be very common. If you're working on this postpartum, our balance can be a little thrown off. We're so used to carrying that weight, extra weight in front of us that now once most of that weight is gone from the baby, then our balance can be a little wonky. So give that a try on both sides. It's a good way to start progressing into some lower body strengthening. Lunges are a great way to strengthen your lower body. That works on core. You get a good hip flexor stretch to the front of the hip, so it gives you a lot all at once. So give that a try.